Hey everyone, welcome to another video tutorial. Today we are going to be making a crocheted market bag. So let me show you what we're going to need and let's get started. So I'm going to be using a skein of this lovely orange yarn and it's called Impeccable and it's by Loops and Threads and you can find this at any Michaels. We're only going to be using about half of the skein, so you should be able to make 2 bags. I'm also going to be using this eye hook. So let's get started. A tip is to just kind of smash the yarn. So you're just going to push it down and it's going to make it into a little ball. See, and it just makes it really easy. You just throw this in a bowl and it's really easy to pull. So we're going to go ahead and start with our slip knot. So we just kind of wrap it around our fingers, slip the yarn through and then pull through. And we're going to be making a chain of 36 stitches. So I'm just going to go ahead and chain my 36 stitches and I'll see you in a minute. So now that we've got our chain of 36 stitches, I'm going to chain one more and then go back 1 stitch, and I'm going to crochet 2 single crochets into that same stitch. And now we're just going to crochet a single crochet in every stitch of this chain until we get to the end. And here I'll crochet one really slowly for anyone who doesn't know. So you insert your hook, pull your yarn through, and then we wrap the yarn around our hook and we pull that through both of the loops that we have in our hook. So I'll do it again really slowly so that anyone who doesn't know how can kind of see what I'm doing. But that's a single crochet and we're just going to do that till the end of the row. Now that we've reached the end, we're going to go into this last stitch and we're going to make 3 single crochets into that same stitch. So we insert our hook and do a second one and then do a third one. And that's going to bring us around to the other side of the bag. So now I just kind of hold down that string that we had from the beginning and I hold it down as I continue to single crochet this row, and that way I don't have to stitch it in later. But it's up to you. You can leave it out if you'd rather just kind of stitch it in when you're done, or just weave it in. But I don't really like to do that, so I just kind of hold it down and I'll just keep single crocheting this row and I'll keep holding down that little bit and just kind of hide it in there. So I'm just going to keep single crocheting until I get to the end of the row. We've reached the end. We're going to go ahead and just finish this last stitch. So here's our chain 1 and here's that very first little stitch that we made into that same stitch. So we're just going to make 1 single crochet into that chain 1 and now we're going to be into that middle stitch, and in this middle stitch we're going to crochet here. I don't know if you can see it a little more cleanly. We're going to crochet 3 single crochets and that will bring us around to the other side. So we got 3 single crochets and now we can start making 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of the row. So I'll keep crocheting and I will see you there. Alright, so now that I've reached the end again, we're going to go ahead and, so this is a little set of 3 that we had done. So I'm going to crochet 1 in the first of the 3 stitches, and then in the second one, which is the middle one, we're going to crochet 3 single crochets. And then here's the last one of our set of 3 from the previous row. We do 1 single crochet, and then we just keep crocheting a single crochet all the way till we reach the end of the row. So now we've reached the end of that row, so I'll make my last single crochet, and then in this middle one I'm going to do the 3 single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3, alright, and we got our last single crochet. So this is where we're going to start making the mesh part, the net part of the bag. So we're going to make a chain of 5 stitches, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip 2 stitches, and on the 3rd we're going to insert our hook and we're going to make a single crochet and we close that out. Right, and now we go ahead and just make another chain of 5. 4 and 5. Grab more yarn and then we're going to skip 2 stitches, and on the 3rd one we insert our hook and we make a single crochet. And then we chain 5, skip 2 stitches, and on the 3rd we insert our hook and make a single crochet. And we're going to keep doing this for the rest of the row, and we're going to come up all the way around. Sorry, we go. I counted 4. Here we go. 3. Sorry, and we're going to go around all the way around until we get to the very beginning where we started making our chain 5. So let me show you what it looks like right now. So we're going to go all the way to the beginning, so to that very first little stitch. So I'll just keep making that until we get there. There you go. And thanks to the magic of YouTube, I have now arrived to where we need to get to. So I'll just make my last chain of 5. Okay, so now see, we've got 2 little stitches left. Sometimes you might have more if you added an extra stitch somewhere, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to go into this first chain 5 space. There we go, if I can grab my yarn. And we're going to make a single crochet right into that space. See? And we're just going to keep going with our chain 5. And insert our hook into that giant chain 5 space and single crochet. Then chain 5. Grab more yarn. Insert our hook into the big space. And single crochet, and we're just going to keep doing this for a while until we get to the end of the row. So I've kept up this pattern for a second row now, and we basically just do the same. So you attach it to the next row by just making another chain 5 and another single crochet. So see, I'm going to show you here how. So we've got our chain 5. And then we just insert it into the next space, and we're just going to keep working this until we get to the length that we want. See how we've now got 2 rows. So I'm going to keep working this for another 18 rows so that I have a total of 20, and I will show you what it looks like. So here is 20 rows of that netting stitch. This is as long as I want my bag. Now you can make it longer or shorter, it's up to you. Just pick any stopping point, and I will show you how to finish it. So we're going to start by, see, we've ended at the single crochet from that previous row after we did our chain 5. So we're going to make 3 single crochets into that same space, and in this little stitch, which was our single crochet from the previous row, we're going to make a single crochet. And now in the next gap, we're going to make 3 single crochets, and then a single crochet in this stitch. There we go, and then 3 single crochets, and we're going to do this until we reach the end of the row, and I will see you when we get there. So I've reached the end, and now I'm going to go to the single crochet from the last row, and I'm going to make a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 1 to start my next row and insert my hook and just start single crocheting. So I'm going to make a total of 4 rows of the single crochets all the way around, and that will be the border of my bag. For anyone who doesn't know how to start a new row, I'll show you here on this one. So see this first little stitch? That was our chain 1. We're going to skip it and go to the next stitch, and that's where we're going to make our slip stitch to end the row. And then we chain 1, and we just start working our single crochets all the way around. So I'll finish this row, do this one more time, and then make one last row so that I have a total of 4 rows for the edging of my bag. I finished my 4th row, so I'm just going to go ahead and make this last stitch and close off the row. So we skip the chain and we slip stitch, and we're done with our edging. So this is what our bag is looking like so far. So I'll pull it back here a little bit. So this is with the 20 rows of netting, and our edges are all done. And this is a really large bag. It's going to be a lot of stuff, and it's really, really stretchy. So don't be fooled by its size. So let's get working on our strap. So here is where we are going to start making our strap, because this is on the side, and this is where I want to make that. So to start, we're just going to chain 1, and we're going to make 7 single crochets. So I will get working on those. So now we are done with our 7 stitches, and we're going to chain 1, turn our work around, and we're going to crochet 7 single crochets. And that way we will have a nice and wide strap. I've made a couple of market bags where I've made very narrow straps, and they are very uncomfortable, especially if you ride public transportation or if you have to walk for a while. They become really very uncomfortable. So I have found that straps that have about 7 stitches to maybe 9 are the most comfortable. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So now that I've started my next row, as you can see, I made a chain 1, and now I've continued working my 7 single crochets, and that's all we're going to do for the straps. So I'm going to make a total of 50 rows of the 7 single crochets. So I will see you when I get there. So I've made my 50 rows, and as you can see, I've pulled this one to make sure that it's the length I want, but I've left this one, this little area that's wider without stretching. So you can see how much this strap will stretch. So that's why you don't want to make a very long one. So once you pull it with the weight of your groceries and everything, it's going to stretch out, and it won't really go back to the same size it was before. And see, that added about an inch after we pulled it. So I only made 50 rows of this. So it seems kind of short, but anything longer than that, I'm a very short person, so my bag would be very, very long on me and be very uncomfortable. So we're just going to find the space now so that we can attach the strap to our bag. And we're going to flip our bag inside out. And I will show you how to attach it here on this side. So make sure it's all turned around. Alright, so it's all inside out. And we're going to find the edge where we want to attach our strap. So we'll align it. Yeah, that's where we want it. So we're going to flip it so that the 2 sides are aligned, and just make sure that you didn't twist your strap too. So align all of the stitches together. See, so now we have those 4 stitches we're going to work through, or the 4 little loops of yarn. So let me pull this a little tighter and insert our hook through all 4 of those loops, and tighten our yarn. Go. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of the stitches till we get to the other side, and then close out our single crochet. So I'm going to do this for all 7 stitches. So I insert the hook through all of them, and then yarn over, pull through, and close out our single crochet. So in this last stitch, I'm going to make a 2nd single crochet because that's where our knot is going to be. And then we'll be able to cut our thread and get it all weaved in. So let me pull it back a little bit. So now our strap is attached, so you can't tell on the other side where it attaches. And we are just going to cut our yarn and start weaving it in. So I'm going to leave a bit of a tail, and that way I can get that weaved in and make sure it's fully attached. So I'll cut that through, and then I'm just going to pull out the hook and pull the yarn along with it, and that way it'll close out the knot. So these are the 2 needles you can use. So this is the yarn needle. See, it's really big. I just don't like to use that when I have to weave in something that I need to put weight on. So I'm going to use this smaller needle, and it's just big enough on top so that I can actually stick the yarn through it. So it's not a regular sewing needle. I think it's called a tapestry needle. So I'll just get the yarn through. And, oh no, there's a little one left. I'll pull that one through as well. Okay. Give that a little pull, and we're going to start weaving that in. So we're going to start by just making a knot to make sure that that is fully closed through and it's not going to unravel on us when we're carrying, you know, watermelon or something, because that would be terrible. And you're going to want to weave it in either a square shape or a triangle at first to make sure that your yarn is going to stay put. So I'm just going to insert my needle and close this off in the shape of a triangle. So I'll do that first side and then I'll weave it up the other way. And then I'll go in yet another direction. And by doing that, it's going to keep your yarn from unraveling. So, like I said, that way you won't, drop all your groceries or anything because your bag became unraveled. So I'll finish this off, and then I'm just going to keep weaving in the yarn to hide it after that, because after I've done a little triangle twice, it's not going to come out. So I'll just keep weaving this in and show you what our bag is going to look like now that we're done. So I'm almost done here weaving that through. There we go. And now I can pull on it and see that there's still like a little bit of the tail left. So I'm just going to pull on that and cut it. And then pull on the strap, and that way it will hide the rest of the yarn. And that's it. We finished our market bag. So I'll flip it back the right way so you can see how it looks. And that's it. We have finished our market bag. So here is our market bag. Just remember that it is a really stretchy bag and it does hold a lot of weight. So I mean, I've been able to carry a watermelon with this thing. They're super sturdy. But if you want to make it smaller, instead of starting maybe with a chain of 36, you might want to start with a chain of 25 and then kind of go from there. But yeah, if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching and have a good day.